Hola, muy buenos dias, continuous liners. Good morning. Here, I just got my latte. Yeah, hi, continuous liners. How are we all doing today on this beautiful Thursday morning, live from the streets of San Miguel de Allende? I'm here at the place on the corner, right in front of the church. Here, the church is ringing its bells. There it is. Beautiful view, beautiful little corner. So awesome to get here early in the morning before all the crowds get here, before all the ridiculousness kicks in. What did I just do? I just knocked my camera over, huh? There we go. So yeah, here in the Jardín of San Miguel de Allende, just got my beautiful latte, and now I'm going to do And now I'm going to do some continuous line warm-ups here. Got my copy paper and my ballpoint pen. You don't need anything fancy for this at all. In fact, I recommend don't have anything fancy for this because, you know, you got that whole thing of like I'm going to just presume you're the same as me in this sense. Like, I don't want to waste this good ink. I don't want to waste this good paper. So this is muy importante. Ballpoint pen, copy paper. Let me turn this over here a little bit. Yeah, okay. So I am back here in San Miguel de Allende. It's been a bit of a flurry, the whole deal. Working with the rancho, working with the sketchers here, doing my art thing here, the whole deal. And as it turns out, I'm moving back here to San Miguel de Allende, and I found my beautiful little apartment. So, in the next month I'll be, I have to go to Oaxaca for my workshop, and then, hola, buenos dias. I go to Oaxaca for my workshop, and then when I get back here, I'll start the moving process. So, you know, I resisted being back in the vortex, but the vortex is too strong. You can't say no to the vortex when the force is so strong, right? So that's part of the whole going with the flow and not resisting, right? Don't resist, like go with the flow. I think that's the whole philosophy of continuous line is like, you know, it may be hard to find the path forward. It may be confusing. It may be chaotic. It may be noisy. It may be full of other tempting decisions. But if you can find a way to get into the flow of your life, easier said than done, for sure. Way easier said than done, to get into the flow of one's life. Well, that means like you're super in tune with what you are supposed to be doing in life, and that can be a hard thing to figure out, a very hard thing to figure out, especially when you've got the demands of life and the demands of the world, and you got to make money, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, right? So it can be hard. I mean, it took me until I was, you know, maybe relatively young in some terms, but also a lifetime in other terms. It took me till I was 48 to figure out what it is I was supposed to be doing. Some people never get that opportunity, right? Some people like go their whole lives without not knowing what they're supposed to be doing. And so I'm very, very, very grateful that lightning struck and I figured out my thing. But it didn't come without a lot of pain, right? That's what life is. I don't think no matter what, I don't think there's any way of avoiding the pain, right? Whatever the pain is, there's always going to be pain. And so you got to find the thing that helps you get through that pain, right? And it took me a long time to figure it out, but for me it's drawing. And now it's continuous line. Yeah, and honestly, I had to move to Mexico City. I had to have do I dare say pain, the experience of Mexico City. It's a beautiful city. I love Mexico City, but it's massive, and it's like the traffic, even though I didn't drive, but just like the sense of the traffic and the crowds, even though I avoided them. But just the massiveness of the city, right? Like it really taught me, like, you either get to your center and calm it down or you're going to suffer, right? So That's what Mexico City did for me. It helped me to find my center. I need a sip of my coffee. Yeah. Interesting angle here. I can see everyone that's walking through the Jardín. And yesterday I walked through here. I'm living right down there, right there at the end of the tunnel. And I was walking through the streets here yesterday, and I came across these two guys who are here again today. They're plein air artists. And I was going to meet the urban sketchers of San Miguel. I said, hey, guys, come with me. And they did. So there they are. I'm going to show them to you right now, if you can see them. Two plein air guys. That's Thomas Kitts. Can you see them? And Steven. And they're here doing plein air stuff. They're doing oil painting and going out to the countryside and doing plein air stuff. And they were really good sports and came to the Hacienda Hotel Sanctuario yesterday and hung out with the urban sketchers. We had a huge crew. It was hilarious. It was awesome. We had, I think, like 35 people. I forgot to count. But it was a huge crew at the Hacienda El Sanctuario, which is just on the other side of the parroquia right here. And it's ancient, historic hacienda that's full of Mexican folk art. And it's nestled right downtown. Even, a lot of people don't even know it's here, right? So, well, they may know it's here, but they may not know what it's all about, right? So this was a great opportunity to get in there and not only see it, but to sketch it. And, yeah, it was a great time. Super fun time. It feels good to be back with a sketching community, because in Mexico City I didn't have one. The Mexico City Urban Sketchers, they don't care about visitors. So they weren't very open to like welcoming new people. And so yeah, I was basically without a sketch community for a couple of years. And so it's good to be back here in San Miguel, where right now it's wintertime, so there's a lot of sketchers here. There's a lot of artists here. There's a lot of people here, right? But it's not massive. It's not like wall-to-wall people. Dawn was there. Sandra Beatty, you should be here. I'm talking about what the outings for the urban sketchers here in San Miguel de Allende. Very fun, very festive. I'm sort of freshening up the location list. It's been kind of the same. Judy Plummer has been running the group on her own for the past few years. She's taken a bit of a, she's got some health things going on. So Rhoda and I have stepped in to offer her support and just kind of help the group evolve, right? So we're going to be freshening up new locations and new experiences and new places, because this is San Miguel de Allende, right? This is where artists come, and there's all kinds of cool places to see and make art. Look at these guys, like right in the middle of these are going to be like tamale trucks or hot dog trucks in about an hour. But there's all kinds of, even just to stop in the middle of the street, there's all kinds of great opportunities to make art, right? Yeah, that's what I love, just like getting the real deal. It doesn't always have to be about the parroquia, which is hard. Parroquia is hard. These guys are facing the other direction. They're not even looking at the parroquia, right? It doesn't always have to be like the biggest, most exciting tourist attractions, right? The parroquia. Every life is centered around the parroquia here. But even just like everyday life, just looking at like doll vendors, and there's a lot of hot dog vendors right here. Corn vendors, and balloon vendors, and even that guy feeding the pigeons over there. Over against the wall, there's like kindergarten kids all in the matching smocks on their way to class or something like that. So there's, everywhere you look, and they say this about, it's like that in Italy too, right? Like everywhere you look, it's a painting, it's a postcard, it's a thing, right? And that's like that here too in San Miguel. So that's why it's time to switch up, freshen up the locations for the urban sketchers de San Miguel de Allende. I'm going to miss a couple weeks because I'm going to go to Oaxaca for my workshop. But then I'll be back to grab the bull by the horns. Yeah, so it's interesting to be back in San Miguel. It's a funny little town. It's an exciting little town. I mean, it's a small but mighty town, right? Like, having lived here for so many years, I got a little frustrated, and I had that they call it San Miguelitis, right? Like, I just had to get out. I'm like, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. And, you know, with the crowds and church bells and celebrations, parades, it can sometimes get a little overwhelming, right? And or just monotonous, I guess, which I feel a little silly saying, because having lived in Chicago and in America, like the whole idea of just so much life being celebrated out on the streets is such a it's such a gift, right? Like I couldn't go back to America at this point, because I like how life is lived and acknowledged in the streets of Mexico. Here in San Miguel, Mexico City is very different, but they do it in their own way. And Oaxaca, they have their own shtick for sure, right? And so we're going to be enjoying that shtick next week in Oaxaca, which I'm really excited about, because there's nothing like Oaxaca. There's nothing like the Oaxacan experience. And there's nothing like the Mexican experience, right? Obviously, I'm a little like pro-Mexico because I live here and I do art workshops here. But it really is, once you get this lifestyle under your skin, it's hard to go back to America and play that whole game. I mean, life is a game, right? So I'm not just singling out United States, although that's where I'm from, so I'm going to single it out a little bit. Anyways, yeah. Funny where life takes you when you're just open to the possibilities, right? I was just open to the possibilities. Just got to keep aware of my surroundings here. I'm out here blabbing away to my phone, live streaming, and just have to be aware of my surroundings. Yeah, so my God, we're going into the end of January here. So that means the next round of February continuous line is about to start. I guess that's next week. Yeah, because I go to Oaxaca next week. So even though I'm going to Oaxaca, I'm going to be doing my classes around. I need to cancel one, but other than that, I'm going to do my live Zoom classes around the Oaxaca workshop. Not that it's going to affect it, and no one's even going to know. So yeah, I'm going to keep this barge moving along, because I think a continuous line drawing practice is something that's muy importante, and you got to keep it going. You can't just, you can quit. You can take a few days off. I took a few days off last week when I was like coming here to San Miguel. I think in my mind I had like 3 or 4 days without drawing, and it was really only 2, and I really did feel like an alien. So I was like 2.5 days off from drawing, and I felt a little odd, because I'm just I'm so conditioned to, like, this is my medicine. This is the thing that helps me, like, connect to my intuition. You know what I'm saying? That's a little woo-woo, but it's serious. It's how I connect, right, to my inner deal. Through my drawing, right? Maybe for you, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's gardening, maybe it's reading, maybe it's walking, right? Like maybe it's biking. I can't do biking here. I miss that. But anyways, I'm not going to focus on that. Whatever it is, your thing that helps you kind of go vroom, do that thing, because right now it's super importante to go vroom, right? To be able to like connect to your center. Connect to your intuition, right? Yeah. What are you waiting for? Hey, not one person rolled their eyes at me today. Not one person rolled their eyes at me today as I was doing this, right? So it's kind of well, I'm honestly not really looking at them either. Let's see, can I see anyone? No. Alrighty, so I just got through my whole page here of my lines. See how beautiful? Look at the energy in those lines, right? This is what I'm talking about. The energy of your lines, right? We're not about straight lines here. We're not about perfect drawings. I see that with a lot of, and I mean this with the greatest of love and respect, like a lot of urban sketchers are, because of the whole thing, the whole basis of urban sketching is to draw that thing exactly like it is while you're standing in front of it, right? And so that sort of encourages that whole sense of like, you got to do it right or don't do it at all. And I feel like for a lot of people, especially women, older women who are mostly in my groups, their whole life has been like, do it right or don't do it at all. And they've run families and businesses and households and lives. They've had to control everything, clean up messes, the whole deal, right? I feel like with the continuous line, it's more like just draw your thing in the way you do it, right? Don't worry if it's correct. Don't worry if it's right. Don't worry if it's accurate, right? And believe me, I can get those things in my head too when I'm drawing something in front of it, right? Like, I practice because if I'm going to draw the Padocchia, I want it to look like the Padocchia. It's never going to be accurate, and I don't want it to be accurate because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to tell stories through my lines, through my energetic lines. And this right here is energetic lines, right? We're not perfect. There's collisions. There's wobbles. I laughed. I sneezed. I took a sip of coffee, right? That's life. Life, you get interrupted, right? You get interrupted and you have good days and you have bad days. So now I'm going to finish big with a heart because that's a big part of it too, right? Like being back here in San Miguel, I've seen some people who like I knew years ago, and for whatever reason our friendships went different directions, right? And so, people who I used to know who I don't anymore. And I'm just asking myself to like just handle it with grace, right? Just have some grace for maybe people who I'm not friends with anymore, or people who I don't know who think I'm one thing and I'm not, right? Like just having a little grace for the human experience. Have some grace for the human experience, right? I remember I don't like that person. Well, why? I don't even remember. Why don't I just have a little grace for them, right? Maybe they were going through something and maybe they angered me and maybe I don't know what was going on with them at the time. But maybe if I have a little grace right now and just say, I'm going to go a little easy on them. I'm going to go a little easy on myself. Go a little easy on everyone here. Myself included. And so that's why I finished big with a heart. Hearts in this case, right? Hearts, hearts, hearts. Coming into Valentine's Day, right? Got to gear up for that whole debacle. Not really. I'm going to be in Oaxaca for Valentine's Day, which I'm excited for only because I was there last year. Was it last year? Yeah, I was there last year for Valentine's Day. And it was very cute with all the hearts and everything. They put up big hearts in front of the church. I mean, every place does a little something, right? So, it'll be interesting to see what they do in Oaxaca this year. I'm excited to get back there and do some drawing some parades. I had two people that just canceled because it was a couple, a husband and wife, and their house just sold, so they couldn't come, so they just canceled. So if anyone wants to come to Oaxaca last minute, come along with me. And also Mexico City, I think I have 2 spaces left in that, and that's going to be a super cool experience. And also you can get to Mexico City really easy because it's a big hub. So come join me in Mexico City. And I'm launching a whole series of experiences here in San Miguel de Allende. So stay tuned. All right, finish big with a heart. I got 3 hearts. There we go, right there. Put them on my hearts. Today's a full moon. So just to have full hearts for yourself and for others as the full moon is passing through. I think it's like later on today. But anyways, I'll be in my Zoom class later today, and I'm dashing off to Guanajuato, and then I'll be in Mexico City, and then Oaxaca. So some exciting art making ahead, some continuous lines. Please join me in either the free group here or the paid what is it, the Zoom classes, or come on a workshop so we can draw in person, okay? Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye.